Hey everyone, welcome to episode 7. This is Daniel with A2C Knowledge to Progress. Excited for you to be here. We're going to go ahead and continue on from where we left off from episode 6, and let's get started. It's amazing how like the one person that I didn't think I was gonna bond with the most turned out to be the one that I bonded the most, and got to meet your family, got to see you every week. So we've had a lot of great discussions and conversations, since
Absolutely.
PATH, and it's just remarkable how you never know. You never know who you're going to meet, and
Right.
that connection you're going to build with them. And that's why I say, go out there,
Right.
because
Yeah.
you never know who you're going to bump into. You'll bump
Don't be
into,
afraid to open up a little bit.
yep, you'll bump into your next best friend. So
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And I cherish the discussions we have at least weekly, if not every other day, or depending on the week, it could be every day. So,
oh yeah, no, it's important. So with that said, I want to go ahead and share something with you. It's a letter I wrote to you, brother, and I totally forgot to give it to you, and I haven't had a chance to see you, but I want to go ahead and read it out loud as an acknowledgement piece. And while I was writing a journal, it turned into a letter, and I want to share that letter with you, if that's okay with you.
yeah,
Okay.
I'd be honored.
All right. So it starts off. Bobby, my brother from another mother, during this holiday season, I want to express my sincere appreciation for your friendship. 19 months ago, we had no clue who we were. However, after Warrior Path, I now have someone I can call my brother outside the military community. True story. You're officially the only and first friend outside the military that I call and mean when I say brother. So, how did you come to be known as a brother of mine? This is a rhetorical question because I will tell you, FYI, I may have created the last sentence for a longer letter. This one too. Anyways, getting back to the how. First, we are honest with each other as we both continue to walk our path and write our new story. The honesty you display with not just myself, but those around you continue to inspire me to do the same. Holding me accountable and knowing you would kept me striving to be a better person than who I was yesterday. Secondly, your trust in welcoming me into your family. Allowing me to get to know your beautiful family is a gift of its own. Seeing the interactions you have with your children and wife motivates me to put effort into being present for my wife and kids. I may have just met you about a year and a half ago, but I can honestly say that the way your family responds to you illustrates how much of a great father and husband you are. Lastly, the connection manifested has grown from the journey at Warrior Path to the moments afterwards. Last week, I shared with someone a short story. Before Path and right after retiring from the military, I felt as if I was on a big cruise boat. But then it stopped, and I got dropped off on an island, and the boat took off without me. As I watched the boat leave with all my friends and coworkers, military community on it, I was or felt left alone. As I thought about what I had just said, a vision came to me. It was that night on the boat in the storm. That night, you and your family picked me up on that lonely island, and for that, I'm extremely grateful to have you and your family in my life. Thank you, brother, for coming home with me. May you have a safe and joyous Merry Christmas and Happy New Year with your family. Sincerely, your path brother, Daniel Navarro. So,
Damn, man.
yeah, brother. So that's kind of the letter, and I was going to give it to you, and I just figured that I just share that with you.
And
Again,
that's humbling and honored.
yeah,
Thank you.
I wanted to utilize this platform to acknowledge you for everything that you've done for me these past
Thank you.
months. So,
Your analogy of being dropped off on the island in the storm kind of brought up another funny memory
yeah,
in a very serious
yeah,
moment when we were traveling down Lake Watery in the middle of a monsoon,
yeah,
hoping
yeah,
hoping we didn't run into another island
I
that
know,
was
right?
dark and storming, right?
Yeah.
Oh man, but we got through it. God, man,
Yep.
looking at that now and hearing what you just wrote and going, that we live that analogy.
Yep. No.
We helped each other get through a dyed-in-the-wool, legitimate dark storm.
Yep.
While at sea. Not
Yeah.
quite at sea. It was on a lake.
No,
but,
it was on a lake, but it felt like it was a sea, and it was dark, and it was just
it's
and maybe,
funny how life can mimic your thoughts. You know.
yeah, it's amazing.
I echo those feelings with you, and without a doubt, love you, brother. And thank
Yeah.
you.
So I think my story is better than yours.
Yeah, you win. There's no doubt about
that. I mean, I guess it wasn't funny, but it was still a memory.
But man, absolutely. And what a great memory.
Yeah, no, man.
That.
It was.
So.
All right, brother. Well, you know what? It is time to give you a chance here to talk to us about your 2 companies that you're running.
Yeah, absolutely. I would love to. We've actually got 3 companies, but I'm hoping that Nikki's going to be on your podcast one time, and I'll let her delve more into hers. But
okay.
The 2 businesses that really kind of are near and dear to my heart, and they're near and dear for different reasons, is we have Warrior Axe Coffee and we have Warrior Axe CrossFit.
Yeah.
Those are the 2 for-profit companies that I am primarily responsible for.
Yep.
From a day-to-day operations and all the things that kind of go into that. And the funny part about it is one was born in the presence of another disabled vet. One was born out of a passion of mine. And the coffee business, that was something that it was never anything I intended to get involved in. It just happened to be my dad, who's a disabled Vietnam vet. We were sitting around one night with a bottle of whiskey and just talking about coffee and how we haven't had a good cup of coffee in a long time and why. And that just delved into no longer having a bottle of whiskey anymore because it was all gone, and starting a coffee company. And we started it in the garage with a popper for popcorn, where we were roasting coffee beans. And, we've slowly grown that. And we're hoping that over the next year, we're going to really start expanding that out quite a bit more. My oldest son, who has graduated from high school last year, and it looks like he's going to come down and help us out with that. And then the Warrior Axe CrossFit side of things is kind of a culmination of several different passions of mine. I've always been into physical fitness, and the fitness side of things has never been the issue for me. I've always been in the gym. I don't take too many breaks from the gym. There's a lot of other things that I don't do well that don't give me the results I want. That's another story for another day. I first started getting into personal training as far as training people back in the early 2000s. That was always the kind of a side hustle of mine as I was doing the law enforcement thing. And as I neared the end of my career and I was looking at things I wanted to do outside of law enforcement, fitness was just part of that.
Yeah.
I worked at a gym for a couple of years, one of the local big affiliate gyms, not necessarily on the CrossFit side, but I really started to get into, I had done the bodybuilding thing. I had done all that. I didn't really get the sense of wellness out of it that I had hoped for, particularly after we got done with Warrior PATHH.
Yeah.
And as I started to look around at things in functional fitness and really delve into CrossFit and what CrossFit was intended to be and what it really is, not what the CrossFit Games are. That's a completely different thing.
Yeah.
But what CrossFit is and the ideology behind it, my wife and I, we really sat down and we thought long and hard about it and said, you know what, this is something that we need to do. And it was a difficult task because we were coming out of COVID and gyms weren't open and it was hard to find space to do things. And everybody had bought up all the equipment because it was in their houses. So it was really a struggle for us to get that going, but we were really excited. We're going on 2 years now, just about to the day, 2 years that we've had the CrossFit side of things up and running. That to me is really a big thing for all the listeners out there who are wanting to get healthy, and not just healthy, but want to take it to even beyond that, to where we're eliminating a lot of the causes of chronic disease, whether that's arthritis or coronary heart disease or cancers or things like that. CrossFit is a really good program for that as long as you're in the right environment. I think we provide that. One of the big things that we do at our gym is that we really push community and we push scalability. I'm going to meet people where they're at in their fitness level.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to turn anybody into a CrossFit Games athlete. No. That's not our intention. Our intention is to make sure that you can do the things that you love to do longer and healthier.
Yeah.
So those are really the two businesses. If anybody, wants to look into them a little bit further, the websites are really, really simple. It's Warrior Axe, AXE, coffee.com, or Warrior Axe, again, AXE, CrossFit.com.
Yep.
With both companies, a portion of all of our profits end up going back into either cancer research or the Big Red Barn to work out warriors as well. It was helping veterans and first responders learn how to struggle well. You are, and we love it.
Yeah. So what I like about it is that it's judgment free. It feels like a family, that you're going to a place where there's family. And you hear CrossFit, the word CrossFit, and people tend to get all scared of, oh, it's, jumping on boxes and throwing balls everywhere, and they're running and sprinting. But it's on your own pace if you need to, right? And it's for mobility purposes too, because the other day I was thinking about when I couldn't put on a sock. I had to sit on the stairs and had to put on a sock, and I was like, man, I can't even flex to put on a sock. I'm having issues putting on a single sock, and working out and moving around helps us with having that mobility to move around. And Warrior Axe CrossFit definitely helps with, trying to figure out what program you fit, because not everyone wants to be, jumping boxes and stuff.
You make a really good point there, and that we want to improve your quality of life. You know what I mean? You mentioned something very simple is, hey, we take it for granted putting on a sock. Mm-hmm. But that can become a struggle through a variety of different things.
Yeah.
Some of the goals that some of the people that have had in our gym, one person's goal was to simply be able to get up off the ground in case they fell. So they didn't have to get stuck in assisted living.
Yeah.
So it's not necessarily about being jacked and walking down the beach and showing off six-pack abs and all that stuff. That's way, way down the road, and that's a completely different program to take a look at. Not that we can't do that. We can, but, our focus is on the guy who came in a year ago, Larry, on a cane.
Yeah.
His goal was just to be able to walk his dog around the block.
Yeah.
Because he couldn't do it anymore. His knees were hurting so bad. Well, the man runs 1,300 meters before every workout now because he can. Not because we program it that way. I don't program any running for him. He goes out and does it because he's managed to get himself in a position a little over a year later that he's able to do it, and now he enjoys it. And he understands what it took to get there. Mm-hmm. Again, we've had people who have come to us off of major injuries, rods inserted in their leg, major knee surgeries, back surgeries, things like that.
Yeah.
Who their physical therapists have told them, you need to stick with them. They're doing more for you than I can. That's the kind of things that we want to make sure people understand, and we get back to the grassroots of what CrossFit really is. Awesome. CrossFit was about establishing healthy lifestyle habits, about becoming more mobile, more flexible, better balance, better accuracy, better strength, better speed, better coordination. All of those things, particularly after the age of 35, to start to decline for most of us. We implement those into a training program that's sufficient for the person that is there.
Yeah.
It's going to challenge them. It's going to push them out of their comfort zone a little bit, but not so far that we're getting people hurt and they're not able to continue with what they want to do in life.
Wow. Warrior Axe CrossFit doing great things out there. Just to give you some more information pertaining to where it's located at 739 Old Clemson Road, Suite E. It's in the back of buildings at Elgin, South Carolina, 29229. Again, 739 Old Clemson Road, Suite E, Elgin, South Carolina, 29229. Also, you go to their website, workout-warriors.org, and you can find a lot of information pertaining to your nonprofit organization, where you're talking about your wife being part of that. So,
yeah, she's the driving force behind that one, and really all that goes back to everything we've talked about. It's about helping veterans and first responders learn to struggle well. So,
all right, yes, sir. Thank you so much for all that, and thank you so much for sharing your stories and being part of this episode, Bobby. I really appreciate you being here, and again, taking your time and providing some of your thoughts and feedbacks to the quotes, providing us with some information pertaining to CrossFit, how that helps us out, and you inspiring us with everything that you're doing. So thank you so much, Bobby.
Well, thank you, Danny. I appreciate it, man. It's been a pleasure to be on, and hopefully we can do this again soon.
All right, everyone. So thank you so much for joining us on this episode. Again, thank you so much, Bobby, for everything that you've provided. And thank you so much for being an inspiration to all of us. And again, everyone, we'll catch you on the next episode. Catch you on the flip side.